Hey y'all, it's Gord, your Hurtin' Hippie, and
I am Pasha.
And as promised, the Q&A, it is A time. Answer time. There were quite a few really good questions from you, so I'm just going to start at the top of the list and work my way to the last question asked. So we're starting with Sick Mix.
And I haven't seen any of these questions yet.
That's a good point.
Prepared.
I was going to prepare him, and then I thought, no, let's just, he has not seen this. I don't think I asked him any of these questions yet. So, okay, Sick Mick. You talked to your 7-year-old grandson, Grayson. Shout out, Grayson. Say hi to Grayson.
Hi.
He lives in a little town in Oregon. He's in a couple of Sick Mick's videos. Anyway, Sick Mick asked him what he'd like to ask Pasha, and he had a 2-part question. One, he wanted to know if you play video games, and what is your favorite game?
I do play video games. If you look at my channel, you would see I play Fortnite, I play Roblox, I sometimes play Minecraft and Terraria. But honestly, my favorite, I can't really decide. I mean, like, Roblox is pretty good because it has so many games.
Name your top 3 then.
Roblox, not Fortnite,
Minecraft,
and Fortnite last.
There we go. Part 2, because we got to kind of move on. Do you like to listen to music, and who is your favorite band? His favorite band is Queen. Good questions, Grayson.
I do like to listen to music, and once again, I don't really have a favorite. I just like a lot of them. I do kind of like 21 Pilots, and I like a lot of songs that weren't really made by bands, more just music videos or music just made by random people who decided, hey, I'll just do a video.
He does a lot of YouTube watching. We don't really watch TV, so there's no watching much music or something like that. So, okay. Thank you, Grayson.
Oh. I have a slight bit more of an answer. I do really like Captain Sparkle's music because he's not really a music maker, but he kind of is. Cool, okay.
Okay, next one is from one of my Patreon supporters and a really nice guy. The shirt that I'm wearing was bought by him. One of my first fan mail. Eddie, 1367. Eddie, well, we all know the real burning question. When do I get to see some more kick-ass blue hair on that guy?
I don't know. I mean, we tried dyeing it, but it just really failed, like really badly. Now it's like a pink. It's kind of blondish. I don't know. I'm not sure if I will do it again. I do like my hair blue, but it doesn't work out very well.
Yeah, we'll keep looking into it. I think he needs a permanent blue, and that gets rather expensive. Thank you, Eddie. JC, hey, Gord, what does your son want to do as an adult? I wanted to work in a crime lab.
Well, I have quite a few, but I'll just say like 2 of them. I would say I kind of want to be a chef, kind of, and I kind of want to do YouTube a little bit.
And he already dabbles in both of those, so it's nice. I never knew what he was going to answer. I love that he wants to be a chef, and he's already pretty good in YouTube. Remember, we will show his channel down below if you haven't yet visited.
I need subscribers, please. I only have like 65.
Right on. Well, we're going to ask 2 more here, and then we're going to move to another park.
Oh.
Have some fun. We're doing this outside just because it really is a beautiful Sunday.
It's not a bad one.
Yeah.
It's okay, I'd say. It's good enough to go outside.
And we always need our exercise. Yeah. Next, another Patreon supporter, Moonshine. She asks, question for Pasha. I know your mom is Russian. What are some of the things about Russian culture that you enjoy? Food, music, whatever.
Well, I kind of like some of their food. They have, I can't really think of them, but I do like some of their food.
Dalma,
I do not
Catlieta.
like Dalma.
Catlieta? You like that?
Kotleta.
Kotleta?
The way my mom makes them, not so much. But
Napoleon
yeah,
cake?
I've never had that, I don't think.
Oh,
Never
okay. But what about the music there, or just the culture, the people, the kids you met?
Well, over in Russia, like the people, it's kind of weird. Like most of them, I guess, are kind of poor. Most of the buildings there, it's kind of rare to have a house. Either you're rich or you're lucky to have a house. Most of it is just big apartments where there's just like, I don't know, 20 rooms or something. So that's really how they live there.
Yeah, it is a very different culture. You maybe have one house in every 5 or 6 blocks. If that.
Yeah.
Almost never see a house.
No, you almost.
Angie978, another Patreon supporter. Love to Angie. I love the idea father-son 20 question episode. Well, we don't have 20 questions, but we're near there. She has a few for you. So we're going to do these, then go to the next one. Have you ever traveled to the U.S.? And if yes, where did you go? And what did you like about it? If no, where would you like to go? And what are you looking forward to see?
I have never traveled to the U.S., but it sounds like a pretty cool place. And if I were to go somewhere, I'd probably go to where one of my favorite YouTubers are and try to see if I can meet up with them. I don't know where I would go, but I would certainly like to travel to a lot of places that sound pretty cool.
His sister's been to Disneyland. I'm surprised he didn't mention. Have you... Oh, I just asked that question. If you could build anything with your own 2 hands, what would it be? You're a good craft maker, so... Why don't you... What are you thinking of trying to build right now? Some of you aren't aware of this. His mom and him do an awful lot of crafts, and he does an awful lot of building. And if you look back on his YouTube channel, he does things like making slime and the Bean Boozle challenge. But what did you want to make for your phone because of your new room?
So yeah, I have a new room, and I want to stay a little bit more organized, and I have everything. I have a special spot. So I want to kind of make a crafting, like something that could hold my phone, and make it kind of easy to take out, but something that I could also charge in.
Instead of going and buying something like that. And he likes to make his own stuff. He already has a cell phone stand in this house that he made. So, what is your favorite article of clothing, and what makes it so special? That's a neat question.
But
he's not really a clothes horse. You know what I mean?
My mom certainly is, and I'd say she's into everything. Dresses.
Everything color.
Yeah, everything color. She likes colorful stuff. If it's all black and white, although sometimes...
So maybe this hat has some specialness for you. Tell them where you got that and why it's special.
Well, I got this at West Edmonton Mall, and I used to really like Fortnite. You could say I was addicted, so I wanted to get this Fortnite hat.
And it was a special trip. West Edmonton Mall is one of North America's largest malls.
I think it is.
It is supposed to be the largest. There's supposed to be one in Minnesota, in the Twin Cities, that is owned by the same people, that is just slightly smaller. Okay, that's it for that. We will be back. It'll be a 2 seconds to you or a split second to you, but for us it's going to be a fair walk. Be back.
Okay, let's teleport.
Oh, that is tough.
Yeah.
Traveling, my friends, I do not recommend it. It's not for the weak of heart.
No, definitely not.
Good one, Pasha. Anyways, now, Jay, Violetina, Jay. I always just call you Jay. Good day, Gordon Pasha. I have a question for Pasha. Since he visits with his mom sometimes in her native Riga, how does the weather compare to here in Canada? That's a good question.
It's a lot more straightforward. It's not like, hi, it's September 1st and it's snowing like crazy. It's not like that. It's more like it's summer. It's summer. All right, I got that.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I've been there 6, maybe 7 times, and the fall is the fall, the spring is the spring. It's very, very tepid temperatures. Summer is hot, winter is really cold, but winter isn't really long. I hope that helps.
Apparently they don't get snow there.
Not much, but it was snowing on my wedding day, and I got married there, so. John, Johnny, Jon, JJ, also a Patreon supporter. Ask Pasha, what video game or games are your favorites? We can touch more on that. And what games are you looking forward to?
Oh, what games am I looking forward to? There's this one game, I think it's called like Masterminds. I saw an ad for this, and I think it's like some game where like you pick an object up and you bring it closer to you or something, and you like walk back or something. And then it gets bigger, but instead of that just being because like it gets bigger because it does, it like actually becomes bigger. It becomes from this to like this or something. And so that's a pretty cool game that I'm looking forward to.
And again, he's a Roblox kind of Minecraft kind of guy.
Yeah.
But tell him about Scratch.
Oh yeah, Scratch. Well, if you look on my channel, I've done one video on that. It's actually a really good coding game because with it, you can like code whatever you want. You can play other people's games. You can remix other people's games. You can either just create an exact copy, which you probably shouldn't do, or you can make it better and or make it what you think is better.
It's a great gaming sharing platform for creation of animations, games, that kind of stuff, all through programming, all through algorithmic language.
Yep, it's just a block coding. It's not like, oh, you have to type L3, 4, 5, 89, and remember that to do this very easy thing that you could just put one block here and one block here and Scratch for. It's not like that. You can just place blocks and...
Blocks of commands.
Yeah, command blocks, pretty much.
Okay, and from down under, from Australia, PhD in THC asks... No, I'm not going to do an Australian accent. That wasn't too bad, though.
No, that was...
Ask Pasha from, and also Joey has a southern accent. He's used to be from the United States. His wife has an Australian accent. It's not a knife, that's a knife. Anyways, ask Pasha from a 10-year-old, what do you think is or should be the main qualifications to be the Prime Minister or President? That's a good question because it is voting day here in Canada tomorrow for our Prime Minister. What should be their main qualification? What should they be able to do the best?
I think they should be able to kind of, to not ruin society, pretty much. Not like, take away dumb things that we don't need taken away and stuff.
Like what?
Like, not taking away a certain video game because it causes violence. it's the kids' fault for being like, oh, in Fortnite you can just run around with a gun and shoot other people. That's them being dumb. That's not the video game being like, oh, go out on the streets with a gun and shoot people.
Yeah, and it has also that's the first time I've heard him speaking politically like that. But it has already been proven that violence in video games does not generate violence in real life. So he's kind of saying, like, get over it. The government's got to get out of our houses and our bedrooms and our living rooms and get back to just ruling the country.
Yep.
That was a really good question. I'm surprised, Pasha. That was a really good answer. And we have one last question, and this one's from New York. Let Arts Live. How you doing, buddy? I think it's Dan, right? I may have that wrong. Don't slap me around too much. I would like to ask Pasha, what would he like to be when he gets older? Is he going to go to college? What are his hobbies besides video games? So, college.
I don't know. No.
I'm surprised at that. You've been to the University of Calgary quite a few times taking courses, and the things you want to be in the future, you have to go to college for: a chef, a programmer. Also, what's the future hold for school, huh? For learning. You learn everything on YouTube.
Yeah, I can learn anything on YouTube pretty much now. And anyway, by then, we're just going to be like, alright, take this calculator out of my pocket, 2 + 2 = 4. Boom. Done.
Yeah, everything's going to be rather accessible in the future. It's kind of difficult to plan for a future that you know is going to... We have talked about this ourselves, is the future could be 100% controlled by robots, artificial intelligence, vehicles being driven for us, all that kind of thing.
Video about it.
Society might have 0 jobs in the future. We may be looking at a Star Trek kind of future. So it's really hard for us to plan his education and everything around that, except for keep him on the edge of programming so that he can be a part of it.
We could do a whole video about talking about our conspiracy theories for the future. I'm not even kidding. We've been talking so much about, like, oh, in the future, I think this would happen because this, and we could do it by this.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot. We see a lot of videos on it. And it's an interesting subject because it is our future. Will we be able to download our brains into computer chips so that we can live forever, so these guys can keep me around longer?
And I also think that in the future we will be able to so I think that even if our planet does eventually begin dying or something, that's why we're going to Mars and trying to colonize. That's why we're trying to find new planets, because there's no way, unless like we start doing some magical thing or whatever to this planet, there's no way it can last forever. Eventually we're going to have to move to another one. So that's probably why they're trying to colonize Mars, so that eventually when we're hitting an apocalypse here, we can just abort everyone onto a humongous rocket ship and just fly to Mars and be like, alright, life is here now, and we can live here.
So that brings an interesting question. Let's say jumpstart 40 years into the future, Dad's around or maybe Dad's not around, that doesn't matter, but you get the opportunity for a job at Mars, but you can never come back to Earth. Would you go?
No. Unless, like, it was like, we have to go to Mars because we can't live on Earth.
So you don't want to be one of the pioneers that are out there, but...
I mean, like, I would like to go to space and just see, like, whoa, anti-gravity and all that stuff. But I wouldn't want to be like, alright, I'm in space, I have to stay here forever, or I get
Who knows? Maybe they'll figure out how to reacclimate ourselves to Earth. For now, they say you just wouldn't be able to go back, but I'm sure 100 years from now, for sure you'd be able to go back.
Yep, because eventually we'll probably... And if we find other life forms out there... See, we can talk about this forever. If we find other life forms out there, we don't just start a war with them. We try and talk to them and be like, okay, do you have any advice? We're trying to move to another planet.
And save our old one.
Yeah, and save our old one, maybe. We at least certainly need to move to a new planet. We should ask them instead of starting a war with them, because who knows, maybe they live for thousands of years and they're like, well, we can help you plant your so-called trees and actually make them grow even faster and stuff like that.
Who knows?
Because they could have some absolutely amazing advice where if we just start a war with them, then we might not have the great knowledge and we might all die.
Yeah, it's all about sharing knowledge and people and things instead of war. So friends, that was the end of the questions. Let's stand up here and show them the scenery that we've got here.
My bum's glued.
Okay, he can't go anywhere. I'll show you the scenery. There we are. We are at the Bridgeland Riverside Community Park, and we are about to say goodbye.
I got off. It's fine. I'm alive. Aliens didn't kill me.
Friends, we really appreciate sharing our thoughts with you all.
Yep, we sure did.
And we hope that this finds you well. And remember to give it a thumbs up. Remember to check out Pasha's channel. Give him a subscribe. Put on the bell for when he produces a video so you know.
And stick around. We may even do a part 2.
Hey. Let's see what kind of comments we get below.
Yep. And if there's enough and if they're good, then sure, I'll gladly do another.
Okay, Pasha, you teleport out of here and then I'll say goodbye. That's what I'll do. Peace and cheers. Love and harmony.